Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In Monster Strike, earlier this week, we got 3 new Transcendent forms, so let's look at them all together here. And then first, let's look at Atum. He's kind of straightforward, so we'll talk about him real briefly. But he is Dark Pierce with Flight, Super Null Damage Wall, and Null Wind. And then on the gauge, he has the Genju Killer L. Those are like the anti-bounce, anti-pierce guys. He is a speed type, so he's a very attractive candidate for the super bias scroll. He could become a super speed type and then get the speed up whenever he hits a wall. Stats are pretty good. Speed is very good, of course. HP is tank level status. Attack is not so hot, however. So outside of the Genju monsters, he's not going to do a lot of damage. And then he has the same bump combo set as before, which is the speed up blast bump combo. And that's one of the very best bump combo sets in the game. It never gets old, it never gets obsoleted. It's a great support double bump combo. And then Strike Shot is also similar to before, but sped up. It's the null everything, so damage walls, gravity barriers, warps, and mines won't affect him. And so quests where he was good before, he will be even better in. So that's like Kinky 24 or El Dorado. And then because his Strike Shot is sped up, he'll get the immunity to the warps every other turn, rather than every other fourth turn. So he'll be even more mobile in there. But because he gets the Strike Shot every other turn, you can use him in Magic Circle quests. You can also use him in like Kinky 4, where you want to be using Strike Shots every turn if you can. And this guy's really good, I think. A lot of people compare him to Kurapika, the recent Hunter x Hunter monster. I think they say that because of the Pierce, multi-null ability, and then the speed up bump combo. But he also kind of reminds me of Daikyo Shokyo. They're another Dark Pierce monster with a lot of null abilities, and then just kind of like not a lot of good direct damage from bump combos or physical attacks, but just kind of like an all-rounder that you can bring to lots of different places. And yeah, I think it's pretty good, and I think he'll have a pretty long lifespan as well. Okay, next, let's look at Agnamut X, and then this is the next limited monster that gets a Transcendent Kai version. The first one was Striker. And I kind of feel like overall, the Transcendent Kai monsters have been sort of underwhelming, and I think the both of the Agnamuts kind of, continue that tradition. But I think X-Flag is doing that on purpose. They don't want to advance the inflation of the strength of the monsters too much. So while the Transcendent Kai monsters are stronger, they're not overpowered and they're not breaking the game. But Agnamut X, she is a super speed type because she is a Transcendent Kai, so she will get the speed up on hitting the wall. And then stats are pretty solid overall, pretty similar to Atum, of course. HP and speed are good, attack is low. She's still a fire bounce. She has Minesweeper L, which is actually a downgrade from before. Before she had the Minesweeper L. But she picks up the Wood Resistance and then Recovery M, which is kind of out of nowhere, but I'll take it. And then Connect skill is Super No Gravity Barrier, so she won't have this just off the bat. But in order to activate this skill, all of the members on your team have to be a different class. So like 1 Deity, 1 Demi-Hume, 1 Dragon, 1 Samurai, that kind of thing. And that doesn't sound too limiting, but actually does kind of end up being limiting. So you have to put your party together, make sure everybody is a different class in order to make sure that they're not, overlapping. And then just like many of the Connect skills for the Transcendent Kais, they really discourage you from using a team full of the character. But actually Agnamut X might be a good one to use a team full of anyway. Forget about the Connect skill, and that's because of her bump combo. And then her bump combo, she has the Super Homing Piercing 18, which is the same as Hitsugaya, and that's a very strong bump combo, especially if you can use a bunch of them together. So if you are in a quest where you only need a Minesweeper and you don't need Null Gravity Barrier, that could be a very attractive option. And then the sub-bomb combo is the Bound Bomb, which is very strong. It's short range, but it is very strong. And so in places where there are homing absorbers, you can still get good damage from a bump combo because of the Bound Bomb. And so with those two bump combos, she might be a good candidate for the Sidekick Ableberry. I think that could be pretty good for her. Strike Shot is the same as before, but sped up. She moves around and knocks guys into the air. So the places where you will use her will not change too much, but she should be better in there. And then she might be the fastest character in the game now because of the super speed bias, and then also the super no gravity barrier. So it should be pretty crazy to use her. Okay, then finally let's look at Agnamut, and then this might be the most interesting of these three forms, but she is Fire Pierce. She loses the null damage wall, but she picks up super null warp instead, so it's kind of an all-new character. She still has a lot of the Slayers as before, Mech Slayer M, Mancer Slayer M, Demon Slayer M, and then a couple of new Slayers. Looks like Beast and then Dragon, so lots and lots of Slayers. So she'll be really good for direct attacks. And then her being a super power type, the first hit that she does on a turn will get extra damage, and then with a attack of 29,000, even before the gauge, means she'll get a lot of damage. So yeah, very good direct attacker. And then she has Dash M, so even though her speed is a little bit slow at 316, she can still get around fairly well. Her Connect skill is Null Magic Circle, which is really interesting, and that's another all-new Null ability for her. In order to make this work, you need a team HP of less than 95,000. That won't be too difficult to pull off, but you do have to keep track of who you are using. Using max luck characters with her would be a good idea, since those usually have low HP. And then Kamile Ascension, who is also Fire Pierce, Null Warp, Null Magic Circle, has very, very low HP, so they'd be good partners together. And then Excalibur, one of the versions is a Pierce with the Null Magic Circle. He also has low HP, so that would be another good partner for Agnamut. But of course, you want to stay away from Kin Vigor Ableberries, and then, yeah, the more you use characters, the higher their HP will go, so you don't want to use Agnamut too much. Bump combos are okay. She is a power type, so the attack won't be very high. But she has a super homing, and then the expanding bomb. I like the expanding bomb as a bump combo, because even as a power type, it can get powerful if you are far away enough. And then it does have a blast bump effect. So even though she, and then also Agnamut X, lost the sub-bump combo of the white blast, Agnamut still has the power to set off other people's bump combos. And then Strike Shot is same as before, it's a meteor, but easy for her to use because she is a Pierce, and then with all of her Slayers, she'll be able to get the extra damage in there as well. Ableberries for her, I would say definitely Kin Strength. I think that would be really good. Okay, but let's bring all of the characters to a quest, all on one team. I'm going to bring a Kamile Ascension in order to help with Agnamut. Although I think my HP is going to be too high. Yeah, that's way too high. And then all of my characters are not different classes, so neither of my two Agnamuts will get the Connect skill. But we'll bring them to Achira, a wood quest where we want Null Warp, and then we'll see how they do. Agnamut X is mostly going to be good in here for her bump combo. Agnamut will be perfect for her because she has the Null ability, and then also Slayers for a lot of the enemies in here. So yeah, she just demolished the boss there. And then she has the Mech Slayer for the robots as well. And then Atum, he'll be a good support character with his speed up and then the blast whip combo. And then every other turn I can use the Strike Shot to get the Null Warp. And then Kamile, of course, she has the Pierce and the Null Warp. Also a blast whip combo, so yeah, lots of support abilities to go around. But Archida is kind of a difficult quest, or it was when it first came out. Very high damage coming out. But with this team, I'll get through it so quickly that I don't really get hit by the high damage attacks. So if you wanted to farm this quest, I think you could change out maybe Agnamut for a max luck, and you'd have a perfectly good team for this mission. Okay, so that was Archida, and then all of these new characters. That was a pretty easy clear. Next, let's look at a run with a team full of Agnamut X's through the Tower of Champions. And then this will be floor 32, but the East version, which is wood element. And then here we can see what kind of damage the bump combos from Agnamut X can do. And then there are the homing absorbers on the stage, but if we look at kind of like the before and after, while the homing absorbers are out or not, then we can see the difference in damage, especially on the boss. But yeah, it could be worth having multiples of Agnamut X. Agnamut, I don't know, I think just one would be fine. And then I did say, or I did forget to say in the review of Agnamut, but her moving from null damage wall to null warp, I think it's a good thing, because as a null damage wall character, I didn't really use her. I would use like Azazel, Wado Purugisu or stuff, so she had a lot of competition there. But as a null warp or a null magic circle instead, I think she's much more competitive. She still has to deal with like Gilgamesh or Kamail or people like that. But I think, yeah, now Agnamut is much more attractive. Okay, so pretty fun clear of floor 32 with Agnamut X, and a look at the new characters that were released this week. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.